It's been years since I first started keeping journals. I was about 9. Since then, I've filled pages about everything: plans, drawings, ideas, but also feelings. The messy kind you don't really want anyone to see. Today, I thought I'd take you through all the journals I've loved so far: the emotional ones, the planners, the creative experiments. Just a little glimpse first of some of the journals that have been with me through the years. But first, the secret ones. I wish I still had my very first journals. I started writing when I was about 9. The Dear Diary kind, with tiny logs and endless pages about crushes and school dramas. I don't have them anymore, and I really regret that. They would have shown me little glimpses of who I was back then. But I do still keep this kind of journal, the one that holds my feelings and reflections. The ones I keep so close to my heart that no one gets to read them. Well, except my mom once. She found one of my very first feeling journals and we had a huge row about it. Maybe that's why I've guarded these sorts of journals so carefully ever since. This kind of writing has been with me all my life. Not every day, not even every year, but always in some form. When life shifts, I somehow end up back here on paper, trying to make sense of it. There's just something to be said about having a secret journal where you can put in all your thoughts, maybe all the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, the messy, just everything that you are. It feels like a cleansing sometimes after I have written down. It's kind of unbelievable that a little notebook can be this mental bath. After a few years of writing about feelings and everyday things, I started craving something different. I think deep down I wanted to feel like a grown-up, like maybe I could keep life together on paper, even if I couldn't yet in real life. I wanted order, systems, a way to see what was coming, not just react to whatever happened. So around age 13, I bought this, my Filofax ascot, in pocket size, brown, in crocodile print. I remember saving for months and walking to the stationery store again and again, trying to decide if it was this one. The salespeople probably thought I was planning a heist. I was just terrified of spending all my money on the wrong planner. Looking at it now, how tiny it is, still makes me smile. I wrote everything in here: class schedules, to-dos, tiny notes about movies to watch. It was my first attempt at control. It taught me that writing could do something, not just express, but organize. This one was for planning, to-dos, collections, and keeping time. It's kind of unbelievable. I've had this little planner for all these years. I remember using this daily several times, and it's like it's part of my childhood, my teenage years, my first adult years. Everything could be in here. I remember spending hours just figuring out what I should put in each section and rearranging the sections and sometimes making my own tabs. You'll see that in other journals. There's just something to be said for customizing your planners and your journals. It makes them just more your own. Oh, here. I have put in some washi tape for tabs. This blue one is a page flag I just bought. I just love this story behind Filofax. I remember reading and rereading about this woman. I think there was a fire in the company where all their records were lost. But fortunately, this employee, she had saved the most important information in her file of facts. I just love that story. And I was drawn to it. Yeah. A few years later, I went to the US as an exchange student. I wrote long letters to my family. Some were happy, some homesick, some just full of tiny details. A lot of fun to read now. I didn't mean for those letters to be a journal, but when I read them today, they feel like postcards from my younger self, still finding her way, still reaching for home. It's funny looking at all these letters. I don't even remember writing them, but I must have. And rereading them again, it's like reading about someone else's life, not really my own. I have a whole file full of these letters I wrote to my grandmother, my mother, and my sisters. And it's so fun to reread all my old letters. And the US taught me something else entirely: freedom on paper. This scrapbook was where I learned that pages don't have to behave. I pasted in ticket stubs, loose leaf notes, photos, whatever life handed me. It wasn't about neatness anymore, it was about presence, a way to keep the texture of a day, not just the list of it. That freedom never really left. Even when I returned to planners later, I carried this looseness with me. In the US, I stayed with this host family, and I just loved my year over there for many reasons. One of the reasons was because they also had two dogs, which I had to walk. And often it was with my host mom, Nancy, and it was really nice because then we had these long talks about everything. She was I think a schnauzer, but I don't know anything about dogs and I might misremember. So yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. And her name was Pepper and she was a feisty one. And then we had this very good-natured boy and he was big. I think it was a German Shepherd or something like that. But even though she was little, she was the boss. Yeah, it's because a fellow student and we were teaching some elementary school kids something about art. And afterwards, they thanked us by sending us these drawings and letters. I just love those. Oh, that's funny too. So that's me and a store owner, and this is a store. And this was the first time I found out that Yoon, which is also my first name, which I got in South Korea, where I was born, but then I was adopted to Denmark. And my mother didn't know that Yoon was the family name. So, in fact, I am called a, a, a family name for a first name, but no one in Denmark knows any better, including me. So I'm happy with my two first names, Julie Yoon. Oh, that's funny. After all that structure and connection, I wanted something with no rules again. Something that could hold travel memories, doodles, ephemera, whatever felt alive in the moment. So I picked up this black Moleskine. Well, not so black anymore. It started as a travel journal and ended up as a bit of everything. At first, it was full of itineraries and sketches of places I visited, train tickets, cafe receipts, little maps, everything. Then it became something else, a kind of junk journal. Eventually, I started drawing right over everything, faces, plants, pieces of conversation I'd overheard. It stopped being about documenting and started being about seeing. That Moleskine became a little universe of experiments. So this is my Moleskine. As you can see, the elastic has seen better days, and I have painted, and yeah, this is not how it used to look from the beginning, but I just love the way that the ends of the pages, they are just warped, and some of them are very thick because I have put in stuff. And you can also see that I tend to like tabs. That's just something about tabs. I don't know. I just love the feel of them. And yes, they are ready, and some of them are kind of broken. I also just like to customize some of my tabs. So I think this is just from a piece of, I don't know, I think it's like a sticker or something that came with some mail. And what is this? I don't know what that is. I think this is Tim Holtz. And yeah, I wrote Project Life, but I don't know. I don't think the tab itself is from Project Life. And neither is that one. And so this is just a pretty piece of paper I cut into a tab. Oh, so I wrote random stuff, 2010, 2013. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, the label in the front of the Moleskine definitely was right. This is just random stuff. So you can see I've just put in whatever I wanted to put in. And I really think I'm really grateful for my stay in the US, because that's where I learned that is totally okay. You don't need to have like a master plan. And as you can see, everything is like, some is upside down and different colors and different color pens, and yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this was a leather jacket I bought at one time. I must have been really happy about it because I was featuring it here. Oh yeah, it says the Chinese garden in Chinatown in Vancouver. So I must have been to Vancouver. Well, I know I have been to Vancouver several times, but I didn't remember it was from there. So now I remember. It's because, so this Moleskine started out as a travel journal. Whoa, I'm late to the party. And then drawing. Oh, that looks funny. Oh yeah. So I just loved playing the game Skyrim. It's also a big open world. And one of the things I really loved was that in it there was a quest with a person, I think this one, and he had this journal on him. And then you're supposed to take the journal, read it, and do the quest. And I just loved that quest. You know, that me loving journals and also loving role playing games. And then these two things are just merged together in this game. It's, yeah, it was just perfect. Oh, yeah. It reminded me that journals don't have to make sense to anyone. They just have to hold a moment. Around the same time, I started keeping a completely different kind of journal, my gaming journal. It began as notes from Fallout 3, quests, characters, storylines I didn't want to forget, but it quickly turned into something more like fan fiction mixed with memory keeping. It's just a big A5 spiral notebook, nothing fancy, but in those pages I built whole worlds. I wrote dialogue, drew maps, and logged discoveries. Looking back, it wasn't really about the games at all. It was about storytelling, about slipping into another world and finding parts of myself there. That notebook still makes me smile. It's proof that even the most unproductive kind of journaling can keep you creative. This is just a big A4 spiral bound notebook. I have just been writing and writing and writing about all my adventures in Fallout 3. And as you can see, there are just a lot. I loved that game. I don't know how many times I played it. I think it was the first game where I found out I really liked shooting with a sniper rifle. Oh yeah, because normally I was playing Elder Scrolls games like Skyrim or the ones before, Oblivion or Morrowind. Yeah, I have used hundreds of hours. Mara Brown in Megaton. I just found her quest really fun. Except the one where, what was it again? I think it was Mirelurks. And they were just so hard. Or maybe I wasn't high enough in level, or my gear wasn't good enough, or my skills. Anyway, I just kept dying. But then I learned how to prepare. This is funny. Okay, so I was level 14, I had a hit point of 330 and different other stats. So even though I wrote all this, I had only completed 11 quests. But I had killed 102 people, 331 creatures. Oh, yeah, that's funny. I didn't explode any pants. Oh, gosh. I will have to replay this game. That was such a good game. The quests, the music. Yeah, I just love that one. Because in the end, writing about imagined worlds helped me understand my own. Then came a journal that was supposed to be all about structure. The Greatness Journal. It's filled with prompts, goals, morning reflections, and daily reviews. Every page tells you exactly what to write, and for a while, I thought that was perfect. But even in a book this organized, I couldn't stop myself from making it my own. Between the boxes and timelines, I started drawing, adding stickers, gluing in little photos. Structure always invited me, but creativity always snuck in. That's when I realized it isn't structure or freedom, it's both. The more boxes I filled, the more white space I wanted to break. And maybe that's a real pattern in all my journals. Every system eventually turns human. So even this goal-oriented planner became a creative journal in disguise. So this one was a gift from one of my sisters at a Christmas. Yeah, my family knows really well that I just love planners and notebooks and journals. And as you can see here, there are a lot of opportunities for planning and setting goals and in different areas of your life. And yeah, sometimes I just crave that structure. Here, it's really nice to have this overview of what are you going to focus on for this month. And I often don't do it, as you can see, but sometimes when I'm really into it and I want to get clear on what I want to focus on, especially for projects, then I really love doing this. And it doesn't have to be in a planner like this. Sometimes I just use a blank notebook. So here is the weekly check-in that is a reflection of the week that just went by. And this is for the upcoming week, where you set some things you want to focus on. And yeah, maybe if you, as you saw before, if you have some goals, then you can plot those in here also. And so this is for one day, and this is for another day. And the prompts or the headings, they change each day of the week, but then the weeks repeat the same headings and the same questions. Yeah, and as you can see, even in a structured planner like this, I just couldn't stop doing something else that wasn't exactly, I don't know how to call it. Yeah, I just couldn't stop myself. So there will be some stickers once in a while, and sometimes I just wanted to write and just didn't want to do anything else. And so this is the 90-day check-in, where depending of the areas and the goals and the prompts, then you can write whatever you wanted. And then this is looking ahead for the next 90 days. And as you can see, I filled out almost all of them, but not necessarily following up. So sometimes this is just exactly what I want and need, this structure. It taught me that structure doesn't kill creativity. It just gives something to push against. This is my Hobonichi A6, the little book that quietly became my daybook or maybe my everyday journal. I'm still deciding what to call it. What I love about it is that it can hold almost everything: the daily notes, the small plans, little drawings, half finished ideas. It's part planner, part diary, part sketchbook, and somehow all of it works. Sometimes I even call notebooks like this my life book or my life log or maybe my book of days. What I do know is that it's where the days themselves started to live. The cover was a pale nude leather when I bought it, and now it's full of marks and scratches. I love that. It's aged with me, the same way the pages inside have. Most of it, it's drawings, hands, flowers, objects from the day. Some days I add a note or a photo that felt too ordinary to throw away. There are a few blank pages, and I've stopped trying to fill them. They belong there, like pauses in a conversation. It's also in a leather cover from Hobonichi 2014. And I just love the patina this nude leather gets. You can see how it's lighter here and darker here where the sun hits it. And you can see it's lighter here on the spine because I've been keeping this on my bookshelf. So the sun has patinaed it more. There's just something about leather and its passage of time. I don't know what it is. I just really love it. You can see the scratches and the marks and yeah. So this one I didn't really use as a planner. As you can see, I put in just the high level stuff, but I didn't want to put in every little thing that I should do. I use digital planners for that. Oh yeah, I just love this crinkly paper. So as you can see, sometimes I was writing and drawing, but rather quickly I just started only drawing. So these are my new running shoes. Oh yeah, I remember now. It's because I think I in the beginning wanted to use this Hobonichi as a daily reflection or memory keeping journal. But I think instead, because it's so small, you can see in comparison to my hand, I started just doing a daily drawing, and it's because I wanted to be better at drawing. So I did that, but also I just often didn't have the time or the energy to do a big drawing or a drawing that took a long time. So instead, I was just trying to do something quick. You will see hands popping up in a lot of my planners. Oh, that's a funny one. Because, well, I'm right-handed and I always have my left hand to draw. So that's why I was doing that. Also, I was really trying to draw from life and not from a picture. I've been drawing from pictures before, Um, yeah, but it's a kind of a certain kind of practice because you have to translate from 3D into 2D when you're drawing from life. So that's why I just drew my hand. So I must have been watching the movie Exodus, Gods and Kings, because this is Moses, Ramses, and Egyptians and the Hebrews. Mhm. Oh yeah, and these stencil figures. So I was trying to walk or run more frequently, and this was just an easy way of documenting it. So this is a leather cover from Buteo Bunker, which came that day. I really like that one. Oh yeah, so this was a journal I bought on Etsy from the shop Medieval Journey. Okay, so Fallout 4 was announced some days ago and it should come November 10th, 2015. And I'm saying I'm already looking forward to it. So this is Miss Vicky B, or this is my homage to Miss Vicky B. I remember at that time I was just binge watching her videos, and she was also drawing daily in her Hobonichi, I think it was, and I think she also later bought a Hobonichi. I'm sorry, I don't remember now, but I just really, really loved her videos. And this one, I don't know who that is. This is so fun looking through this old journal. Oh yeah, and I don't understand Japanese and I can't read it, I can't write it at all. But I think I was so inspired when I got my first Hobonichi, and that was the Hobonichi cousin, April Start, so Spring Start, I think it's called. And that was where I first learned about the Tomoe river paper. And I just remember seeing those, what do you call it, characters, or yeah, and I just tried to replicate it. So I just wrote them over and over again, but I wanted to have it in the correct form. So that's why I printed it out on this little note card, so I could always look at it and see if I did it correctly. And I just think it's so beautiful. The days of the week: moon, fire, water, wood, tree, gold, earth, and sun. Yeah. Yeah, this one. This was just special period of my life. What started as daily drawing practice slowly turned into something else. A record of being alive. My version of daybook, a book of days. whatever we want to call it. This little Hobonichi feels like the beginning of what's next, where journaling stops being a category and becomes a way of keeping time and somehow of holding me. And this one, this is my traveler's notebook. The leather's age, it's softened, the corners are marked. I love that. The patina, the scratches, they show that time has passed. No matter how my planners or journals change, this one always stays nearby. I think what never changes is that I love pen and paper, the feel of worn leather, the shine that comes from time, the small marks that tell where it's been. It's from back when the company was still called Midori. Since then, I bought other covers, but this one still feels like home. It's aged beautifully, and I'm curious to see how it will keep evolving, just like my notebooks and my life keep changing too. I don't know if you can see the hole in the back that was just always finding the knot from the elastic to be frustrating. So that's why I just made my own hole in the back of the spine and threaded the elastic through it. Oh yeah, and here you can see Midori, made in Thailand. So in here I have 2 notebooks right now. These are mostly for work, but I can show you this spread. So on this side, I was writing some notes for a book that was very inspiring for me as a project manager. The 2 authors, Bent Flubjer and someone else I don't remember right now, but I'll write it down in the description box. And the title is How Big Things Get Done. And it is so good. It's both entertaining and very valuable for anyone who's ever had anything to do with big projects. And it's projects in almost all areas. And he opens up with a I think it's some friends he knows who has to do a home renovation, and it just spirals. And then he also talks about, the opera house in Sydney and lots of other things. But that is such a good read. And in fact, some of my colleagues and I at work, we even formed a book club because we were all such fanboys and fangirls of this book. And now we just continue this book club with other project related books. And these are just some notes for leading a meeting based on a book by these 2 people. As you can see, there's just a lot of notes here where I also have a notebook for my private life, but sometimes the private spill into the work life. Let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, for example here. So this is my work notebook, but suddenly I have a wish list, and it's from something, of course, to do with notebooks. So it's my wish list about buying a camel travels notebook in regular size, and I was thinking about how I wanted to customize it. I was obsessed with that for a very long time, and I just didn't know exactly how I wanted the notebook to look, because I had seen so many YouTube videos with other people and their um, customized traveler's notebooks, and I just loved them all. But I only wanted one. And at first, I thought I would customize this one, but then I decided against it because this one is the first one I ever bought, and I just couldn't mar it, or I just couldn't make myself do anything to this one. It's because I really love all the scratches and the patina it has gotten. The only, here you can see I had a plastic, what do you call it, file folder glued in here, which is sold by the travels company. But then I took it off because I wanted it to be as maybe minimal as possible. And then I just bought a leather file folder instead. Here. Oh yeah. Yeah. You'll see my customized traveler's notebook another time. But I just love this one. It feels so nice in my hand. So I'm curious, which journal has stayed with you the longest? You know, when I look at all these journals together, I can't really separate them. Each one has shaped me in some way. They all show different sides of how I think, plan, and create. None of them replaced the others. They just layered over time. Some days I crave order, lists, timelines, boxes, everything in its place. Then another day I'll open a different notebook and just spill thoughts or feelings or little doodles. Sometimes I paste in a photo or a receipt, just something ordinary that still mattered. Or I pick up a gaming journal and write about whatever quest I'm on, because apparently that's part of me too. It used to confuse me. I thought I had to choose one way and stay there, but now I see it differently. All of it, the structure, the reflection, the messy creativity, it's just me. It's not a contradiction, it's a portrait. Without these pages, I think I'd feel a little poor, because this is my wealth. Not money or stuff, but memories and thoughts and drawings that hold time. My journals are like a home I carry with me, familiar, evolving, close. They hold every version of me that's still becoming. So if you've ever wondered whether you're journaling the right way, please don't. Whatever way you do it, it is already right. Each of these journals captured a season of my life. But lately, I've been wondering, what does my journaling look like right now? In the next video, I'll open the notebooks that are part of my everyday rhythm, the ones I reach for in the chapter of life.